And we're live. Hey, welcome
Yay.
to the workshop number 127. Uh, this is a comedy safe space, so if you want to tout any harebrained conspiracy theories, this is the place to do it. Chip, you're up first. Let me know what your topic is and when you're ready to begin, and I will start your time.
Okay, my topic is talking, and I think I'm ready to go now. Yay. So, my wife is one of those type of people. I guess you would call them, I don't know, Homo sapienists, They think that every animal should be able to understand what people are saying, you know. So she likes to speak to our cat like it's another person. And, and if the cat doesn't follow directions, like, get down off the bed, she's like, she takes it personally, like the cat's ignoring her. And I'm sort of like, really? You think that the cat chose not to do what you asked, that the cat not only speaks a human language, but even if he did, he speaks English. I mean, maybe he's a well-educated cat and he only speaks Latin. I'm like, And the other thing too is that when she talks to the cat, she talks to the cat in a baby voice. And I'm thinking, well, maybe the cat's just tired of being treated like a kid. Because, I mean, this cat is like 90 years in cat years. It's like, he's kind of like, treat me like the adult I am. But, it's sort of part and parcel with the way Americans are. We're funny about the way we talk and language, and we expect everybody to talk like us. We poke fun at anyone whose accent is different, even if they're from America, like Harvard Yard, where are the R's? Well, they're down in Texas in Warsh. It's like we expect everybody to know how to speak exactly like us. We scream at immigrants. It's like, if you're going to live here, learn English. And then when we travel to their country, we scream, doesn't anybody here speak English? It's like we're never satisfied. And I spent much of my early youth in New York City, and then we moved to Memphis, Tennessee. And people were always yelling at me to slow down and don't talk so fast with that New York accent. It's like, what's your hurry? Is your tongue on fire or something? I'm just like, so I slowly developed like this stutter, and of course, Americans, man, we can't handle, like I said, people talking differently. So kids would always poke fun at me. So I would give them their own speech impediment, like a fat lip. It's like, yeah, let's see how well you guys talk now. As I got older, I developed what most people would consider sort of like a Midwestern accent, a sort of cross between New York and Memphis. And I always got this, well, you don't talk black, you don't sound like you're black, which meant that, I would always get hired over the phone and get fired as soon as I showed up at the job. So it's like, yeah. So, but it is, I mean, language is a funny thing, and it's part of identity for people. I have a friend who came to the U.S. For school from Iran like 30 years ago. And she had a really thick Persian accent. And, to this day, she has a really thick Persian accent. And she's been living in Memphis for 30 years. So, she still says, hey, Yule, instead of hey, y'all. Just like, really? After 30 years? But, I have to admit, I've been really loving doing these Zoom comedy shows because I've met people all over the world. I've done comedy, in Malaysia, I've done comedy in Tokyo, in Russia. And like the cool thing is that everybody does speak English. I kind of think that maybe colonialism gets a bad rap. It's like, I mean, sure, they killed a lot of people, they enslaved even more, and they stole land. But without it, people all over the world wouldn't be able to understand my dick jokes. So I don't know. That's I think that's my time. I'm Chip Jones from DC. Thank you guys for listening.
Woo.
Yeah,
Right on, Chip.
that was great. You guys have any feedback?
I
Yeah,
really liked
liked it.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I really liked it. One thing I sort of thought when you were talking about the cat, he was like 90, it's sort of like instead of talking to me like a baby, respect your elders kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
I really felt that getting hired over the phone and fired when you show up to work. I really felt
Very
that.
funny.
The black
I have-
experience.
I have experienced a similar
Yeah.
situation in my time on this tiny blue planet.
Mhm.
So I felt that so hard, so hard, and I really enjoyed that last joke. It was spot on, my good man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought it was a great set, Chip. There's like a lot in there that I really enjoyed. The first thing was jumping off of the getting hired and then fired. I just thought that maybe there's just something about the conversation. So that means that your resume is probably just full of different places where you only. So I just pictured the conversation being like, "Sir, just going over your resume over the phone, and it looks like you've worked at 20 different places for exactly one day over the last year. Is there any reason why?" And then you're just being like, "I mean, you'll see."
Okay.
You'll see tomorrow. Like I like that. The well-educated cat only speaks Latin. I thought that was a great line. Like, and I don't know, I don't speak Latin, but finding like a short, I don't know, a Latin phrase that the cat could say that's basically like, speak to me like an adult or whatever, which I agree with Matt. I think that was a great take on it too. Just
Okay.
and
Just
and
thinking
then-
about Latin phrase.
yeah, and then oh yeah, and to give them their own speech impediment is great. Like it's like about giving them a fat lip. Like I like that. Just like you're someone making fun of the way you talk, and so you're gonna change the way that they talk.
Mhm.
And then so that's great. I mean, pretty much I really liked most of the premises that you had, and I think probably the best joke of the group was the colonialism one that you closed with.
Mhm.
Like that's just such a great way to tie it all together about like you're listing out all the terrible things colonialism gets a bad rap for, but then just the turn at the end where you're basically saying it's like, but I get to tell my dick jokes to whoever. It's great.
Mhm.
They all get to hear. And so I enjoyed it. I like you had a lot of really strong premises and some stuff that I think you could like work on and could be something you could actually do in your own act.
Cool.
I think like a cat in Latin is like cat is or something. Like just cat but with like US on the end.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure that's actually it. But yeah, like if cat could talk, I feel like what if they were like way nicer than you thought they would be? They're like, "Excuse me, could you please get out of my way?" or something instead of like just being complete assholes. Like you assume they'd be.
Or they're like, "Thank you, you're wearing my favorite pair of pants today."
Yeah.
These pants
Yeah, they're just constantly complimenting.
Like, "Excuse me, kind sir," and they just like scratch you across the face. Like, oh, sorry, I was just trying to get your attention.
Yeah.
Didn't know my own strength.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the thing about the colonialism one, I feel like it would suck to be like the one country in an area that didn't get colonized. So like you don't know the common language. But yeah, I'm starting to stand-up comedy career. Like, oh, where are you from? North Sentinel Island.
Yeah, it's like what's worse, being colonized or being the one country that wasn't? Like what's the worst one? It's a good take.
Yeah. I do all my comedy in a language that only 140 people speak.
But he kills.
The phone rings. Up 139 people speak.
Yeah, you're just yeah. Yeah, we had an outbreak. So we're down. That's so funny.
You guys have any more feedback?
Killing in a dead language.
That's right. Killing in a dead language.
That's a really good set, Chip. I really,
Thank you.
I always like watching your comedy, so it was cool to see you work out something brand new. It was awesome.
Thank you very much. Any other notes? Anyone? Bueller?
Yeah.
Chip, you have the strongest sideburns in this group. I just have to say.
Take offense to that remark.
Just like mine are like you can barely see them, like they don't really exist.
Yeah, mine touch. They come all the way down. Yeah.
See, now you're just bragging, Chip. That's okay. I still dig it.
That's it.
Yeah,
I mean, I got as I do in other bits, you know, I've got downsides. See, like you have like a steady stream when you go to the bathroom, you know. I've got like a ketchup pump when I go squirt. So I would trade the sideburns for that.
Yeah.
I would.
Fair enough.
Well, I'm giving away nothing today. Nothing today.
All right. If that's all for me, I'll give up the floor to the next comedian.
Woo, great job, Chip.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it was really great. All right, next coming up to the I don't know, whatever. Matt, you're up next. Let me know what your topic is and when you're ready to begin, and I will start your time.
Sure. So my topic was harmony. And to be honest, I don't think I'm going to fill 5 minutes, but here we go. So the first thing when I got harmony, I looked up the filmmaker Harmony Korine, and he makes really weird movies. Like he made a film called Trash Humpers in 2009, and I didn't know it was the biography of my ex. So, you know. Actually, it could also be my biography as well. Trash Humpers, starring me. And the more I thought about harmony, it's kind of funny because we live in a world where, honestly, face to face, people are still pretty civil to each other. But like if people acted in person like they do on the internet, like the things would be pretty bad. Like most of the time in real life, like two people with differing views will hold the door for each other. But if they saw what each of them said in the comments section of a restaurant review on Facebook, like society's out the window, basically. But to be honest, I think the internet would be better if disagreements did end up in blood feuds. Like, hey, Linda, I know you commented nobody cares in my response to that news story, but to be honest, it'd be a shame if something happened to your dog. And then, you know, an endless cycle of violence just erupts from that. But it's also online, like, everybody's just, you know, making snippy, shady comments to each other, like, all the time. But also being very violent, so one of them will end sometime. And, you know, the word harmonious. Harmonious is a very $5 word. Every time I say it, I feel like a little Ford Fauntleroy, like I should be swirling around a glass of wine and wearing a cravat. Harmonious. And the final thing I thought about harmony is it makes me think I like doing harm and getting money, but I'm not doing either. And that's my set on harmony.
Woo!
Thank you.
Amazing. You guys have any feedback?
The only thing I was thinking is you start out talking about trash humpers, And so
Yeah.
I think what I would want to hear is examples. What makes Trash Humpers a movie about your ex or about you? What are the things that are in the movie that, you know?
He's trash and she humped him.
Yeah.
I think that was that's what I took from it. I don't know if I was reading too deep into it, but
that's, yeah.
Was that
that's
the
main
okay?
factor.
Okay, I wanted to make sure
It's
I wasn't a
plot
piece of
like-
shit. I'm glad I wasn't. I just didn't know if I was a piece of shit. And I was just like, yeah, Matt obviously thinks he's garbage, right?
He's
Like
garbage,
it's like
right?
that's,
Yeah. Yeah, that literally is the movie. They're following like around a bunch of guys in like old man
Yeah,
masks
old-
and they're like humping trash for the whole. So. And the guy later directed Spring Breakers.
yeah.
Right,
That's
right.
a fun fact.
Yeah, I just think of those things. If you're doing that, you want to paint a picture a little bit for the audience. You know, like
Okay.
I'm saying that, you know, this movie has you know, these guys walking around like he did, you know, like they're humping trash, you know, kind of like my ex. You know, she was,
Yeah.
you know.
And she also was wearing an old man mask.
I feel like Harm Money is just a really dope gamer tag. And if you became like a professional gamer, that should be your gamer tag. And if you ever
Ooh, yeah.
became a professional assassin, you should put that on all your stuff.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
That should be your calling card.
Yes.
Or
Now I
like
feel like there should be like a whole movie franchise about like a gamer who becomes an international assassin.
Yeah,
Hey, dude, I
he
would
only
watch
uses
that.
drones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would watch that.
It's never in person. It's all drone strikes.
He only uses it's mostly drone strikes, but occasionally he's been like playing a lot of Fortnite, so he like builds a defensive wall. around
Yeah, that's what it is.
himself.
Is building walls and.
Drones have become boring and too easy. You know, he wants
Yeah.
a little. He
He
wants
needs
a
to-
little challenge.
I
But
wanna
I
see
do,
the
I do,
glare.
I do think real professional assassins, they don't want to have like a name that's identifiable or a way to be tagged with murders. You know, it's kind of like you want everything to look like it could be somebody else,
Yeah.
not you.
That's more of a serial killer thing.
Yeah,
That's
it's like- yeah, it's like
That's the difference is someone that's killing for fun versus profit.
right.
But what if he's just that good? That's the only way he can get a challenge.
He
Yeah, it's the
wants
only
he
one.
wants the cred. He wants the cred.
Yes. And sometimes he'll do a freebie if the challenge is
That's right.
Or even if since you're talking about if this became like a movie or something or a franchise, what if that was just the name of the movie, Harm Money,
Oh.
and it just
Okay.
also happened to be somebody's gamer tag? Like, I'm just saying, just
Interesting.
That's true.
Harm money.
I was saying, like, when you're choosing an assassin, how do you know if they're a good assassin? Because they're not going to tell you about the people they already killed, like you guys were just talking about, So you have to just take their word for it.
Well, I mean, I think the hardest part is getting to them, because
Yeah.
it's all pretty much like word of mouth, and so that means that you got to know somebody who actually used this person, or it's like it's all sketchy.
It's not-
It's all sketchy.
Well, yeah, but I figure you assassinate somebody for someone, and you probably wouldn't want to continue seeing them
Right.
or maintain like a line of communication.
Yeah,
That's true.
I think a lot of this stuff is done, like Dropbox email sort of thing, where it's
The
like,
dark web, dude.
yeah.
Mm.
And that's usually how people get stung, is that they're talking to cops thinking they're talking to assassin, because
Yeah.
What if you were that one person who kept like sending chain emails to the assassin you hired, and also like a Christmas card or something, just to say, well,
If you break this
Well,
chain email,
that's
you will
right.
have 20 days of bad assassin luck.
Or you're texting the assassin you hired at 3 a.m. You up?
Yeah, you
It's like, what?
yeah, you could be the first assassin with an OnlyFans, but you only take payment with like Bitcoins.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, the Bitcoin assassin.
What you doing?
Yeah, the crypto killer, dude.
I'm about to shoot this guy in the head. Why?
Yeah, I have a couple that's like when I just we've talked about the harm and money thing a lot, but I just hear and it's just like I don't know, with the jamming the two words that are that cool together, you would think it would come up with something way more badass than what harmony actually means. Like that's literally what I'm thinking. It's just like I don't know, it's like taking like we're gonna take a shotgun and a sword and put them together and it's a cupcake. Actually, it's a delicious. That's how you make candy for people. And then the other thing, and it's just like a twist, like just a twist idea. Like I really liked your idea about like when you said that if people could see what the other person posted, they wouldn't be able. And like my would take is like maybe try doing it. I think before you do something nice for somebody, you should be able to see what the last thing they posted on Facebook was. And it's just like that would keep people like in check, which is just like, oh, it's like okay, Trump 2020, and then I'm gonna close the door in your face. It's like, sorry. It's like, okay, what did you put down here? But yeah, just like it's like I wish that we could just see what the last Facebook post was before I open the door for you, because I think that idea is really funny. But just as far as like I think you could get more mileage out of it by turning the bit that way, as opposed to just. I think there's more meat on the bones than it just being a throwaway line, because I think that's a really funny idea.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
You ever watch any like Harmony Korine's like old Letterman interviews?
Yeah.
I just stumbled upon those like a few months ago, and I watched like all of them. It's like hypnotic. I was thinking like for the trash humpers thing, like it sounds like some kind of like camel garbage garbage pickup service. You know, they're like, oh fuck, it's Tuesday. When are the trash humpers gonna get here? And then they like roll up. They like I don't know where they put the garbage, but it's probably maybe between the humps.
They're like one of those you see in like the movies that are depicting like those old Middle Eastern scenes, and like they just have bags of garbage on either side, and it's like a whole caravan of camels picking up trash.
Yeah, it also sounds like some kind of like
porn franchise.
Probably. I mean, it's pretty close.
I was watching episode 4 of Trash Humpers, and this chick was horrible.
I mean, after the third episode, you really need to.
Kind of, like a cartoon starring like some post-apocalyptic robot camels that like travel across the wasteland. You turn on your TV Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Trash humpers. Any more feedback, you guys?
Yep.
Okay.
I think we beat Trash Humpers to death.
That's what we want to do every time. Beat the joke into the crowd. All right, Clyde, you're up next. Let me know when you're ready to begin, what your topic is, and I will start the clock.
All right. Well, my topic is city dump. So, I'm glad you're laughing already, because that's going to stop soon. All right. I guess I'm ready.
Woo.
So there is a furniture store in Houston called The Dump. It's not inspiring me with confidence there, buddy. It's like people go there and they think it's free because it's The Dump. What could it possibly cost? And they find out it's crazy expensive. That's just false advertising. That's what that is. It's false advertising. Now, during research for this, I found that people say different things. You know, when you fist bump and you open your hand, You know, like civilians, they fist bump and they open their hand and say, boom, you know, and then like comedians will just fist bump, open their hand, mic drop. But like sanitation workers, they get the fist bump, open their hand, city dump, bitch. That's what they do. That's how they do. And then like WAP, WAP at the city dump is WAT, what? Wet ass trash. That's all. They're only taking solid materials at the dump, so I guess that's why. That's why it's not a good thing. It's a bad thing, I guess. And when you go to the city dump, you find out that they don't have public restrooms. That's false advertising, I think. And like, why? I don't know why. Maybe it's because they only take solid waste and they're worried about people who eat Chipotle. I don't know. My diet is trash, so I think I should be allowed. I think I should go. They should be opening up to me. The city dump, you know, that could be the Washington football team's new name, I think, because they are garbage. City dumps, I think, are better than sitter dumps. So nobody gets paid to clean those. That's just coming out of your check. Every time I pass a city dump, though, I'm reminded of why I hate Pixar. Because the city dump is where we find out that Buzz Lightyear is a little bitch. Okay, he's always like to infinity and beyond, but the city dump makes you give up in Toy Story 3. Really? He holds Woody's hand like they're in a relationship. Where was all that to infinity crap when they were sinking into that fiery black hole? And you thought they were gonna die, so they all just wanted to be together. I'm not crying. No, really though, that was one of the saddest moments I've ever felt watching TV since Optimus Prime died in the original Transformers movie in 1984. And he's like, Megatron, I thought you were made of sterner stuff. And I was like, oh, Optimus Prime. That to me is still the saddest. That's the saddest animated movie scene ever. But then in Toy Story 3, though, getting back to that, like those green guys, they were all like, the Claw. Remember that? It's crazy. Mm-hmm. So I won't watch Toy Story 4. I can't. And in the Claw, every time I think of that, that reminds me of when the guy from Princess Bride, who plays Jerry, like the worst potential stepfather ever in Liar Liar. Remember that? He's like, hey, Gipper, I've got something for you, young man. Ooh, watch yourself. It's the Claw. It's the Claw. The Claw's coming at you. You're scared of the Claw. You're scared of the Claw. No, I'm scared of what you really want to do with that finger, Jerry. That's what I'm afraid of. It's like if you're not a pedo, well, that's just false advertising. And that's my time. Thank you.
Hey.
Cool.
Woo!
That was good stuff. You guys have any feedback?
Yeah, I love the energy. It's great.
I was thinking, isn't all of the city dump a toilet? Do they need a restroom? Can you just go anywhere?
I don't know.
Oh my God, I gotta take a city dump, if you know what I mean.
I mean, as long as you keep it in the garbage section and not like in the recycling, because that would make me mad.
Well, isn't it already composting? I mean, haven't you already started the process?
Yeah.
You know?
You're just helping it along.
I mean, this is going to get turned into fertilizer anyway if it's organic wastes.
The city dump.
Yeah.
You think like the city dump people, like is there like a state dump or like a national dump, planetary dump?
If they work towards like the NBA of the dump,
Right?
Probably Shreveport, where I'm from. That seems like that should be like a state dump.
Yeah, I remember New York had a thing where they were putting stuff on barges and sending it up river.
ooh, party dump.
So yeah, it makes me think that maybe it's not the trash collectors that move up the ranks is the trash itself. You know, the
Yeah.
trash starts out local, and
Yeah, it's New York. That's New York trash.
that's like New York
Yeah.
trash.
Yeah, if you can be trash in New York, you can be trash anywhere.
That's right, big time.
Yeah.
If you're trash in New York, you're
Now
big
that's
time.
the trash
Yeah.
I want.
Yeah, yeah. I want to pick up trash off Broadway.
Is the trash like making like a? Is it like evolving in the opposite way that we did, where it's like slowly progressing back into the water? Like now it's amphibious, but eventually it's just
It's
gonna.
just, yeah, sentient trash. I thought the Watt thing was really funny.
Wet-ass
Mainly,
trash.
yeah, mainly because it's the exact opposite of WAP. Like I can't think of anything that I hate more. Like as much as I love wet pussy, is how much I hate wet trash. I can't do wet garbage is like when you pick up a trash bag and you can tell that someone threw something away that was like, and it's like, God, wet trash is the fucking worst, man. Water trash.
Yeah.
But
Well, it feels like a time bomb because you're not sure like the bag's gonna hold. It's like
you don't. Yeah, I'm
feel
just like
you're like, do I cut the blue wire or the red wire?
Yeah.
When's this
Yeah.
shit gonna explode?
yeah, and it's just dude. Even thinking about it makes me fucking gag, dude. I can't stand wet. Just the way the weight of the bag is different. It's like yeah. But I
Yes.
thought that was really funny, man. I liked that line a lot.
Cool.
It made me want to know what the lyrics to that song would be.
I also enjoyed when you got emotional about Buzz Lightyear. as
Yeah,
well.
and Optimus Prime, dude.
Yeah.
Have you seen? As this is also off topic, but your Toy Story thing reminded me. Have you seen the video where the kid who's a video editor edited out the end of Toy Story 3 and made it look like it ended with them burning to death in the trash, and then showed his mom the movie, and she was like, "That's not how it ends." It's like, yeah, that's how it ends, Mom. And she's like, "Why would they end a movie like that?"
I have not seen that, but I now must find it.
It's a really funny video.
The horror.
Yeah, and she doesn't find out about it until like the next day. She's just
Yes.
like, "Why would they end a movie like?"
Yeah.
It's like
I guess because they made it in Germany. So,
I was gonna say Toy
it was one
Story.
of those Europe-
Toy Story, the Schindler's List cut. It's like, oh my god!
it's a way different film when if it ends with them dying. It's just like it just cuts to black and then the credits roll and the mom's like, "What?"
I think you guys are thinking of a Toy Story.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of good stuff about the city dump. We have I don't know if it's a national chain, but in Richmond, Virginia, there's a furniture store called The Dump as well. So I don't know if it's a chain or not, but it
Right.
might be a thing that works in other places because I used to think that too, like how fucking ridiculous it is that the branding is this is shit that other furniture stores didn't want. Because
Right.
that's literally what it is. It's all excess from other furniture stores. The last place it ends up is the dump. Before they, like every other month, they do a up to 90% off retail price. It's like, why the fuck are you even, like, how are there people going to this? Or it's just like, but I thought that was funny just because it like really hit home because I remember thinking the same thing about the furniture store here called the dump. At the dump, at the dump, at the
It
dump.
sounds like a really good place to pick up a lampshade made of human skin.
I thought you were gonna say women, and I was like, yeah, it is a good place to pick up women. Pick up some chicks at the dump, baby. Their expectations and self-esteem are already low.
It's a great place to get furniture when you're homeless.
Yeah, at the
Just
dump.
set up a corner.
Yeah, if you're homeless, you just go to the dump. You're like, can I just sleep here? And they're like, yeah, probably. It's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, I
Well,
can't
out-
guarantee it.
I'm looking for a bed that will fit on the corner of 14th and.
Yeah. You guys deliver?
Yeah, Bilal, if I found a lampshade, wait, did you say lampshade?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Made of human-
Made of
Yeah,
human
it's like-
skin.
yeah, if I could find like the matching bedroom suite, like that would
Yeah.
be
Be pretty rad.
that would be creepy. That would be pretty
What?
terrible.
I mean, for another thing for the dump thing is I like analogies a lot, and I think just drawing some sort of analogy of like another store that couldn't possibly do that. Like you can't go to like a grocery store called the dump or you know what I mean, or something like that. Because it's just like, yeah, it's just all the trash people don't want. It's still really good. It's like half-eaten bananas. You know, it's like a year-old Twinkies and stuff. But just drawing an analogy to a different business that would not be able to find success labeling itself with a terrible name like that.
Twinkies last for 1,000 years. So
is that true? Because I don't think that's real. That feels made up.
Euro Twinkies, okay.
So that feels made up to me, Jim. I've always heard that.
I don't think Twinkies even have an expiration date on it. I think it's just question marks.
It's like the expiration date on a Twinkie is the same as a children's birthday party. Right. It just goes to question mark.
It's a little character going.
Man, you guys got really homophobic out of nowhere.
What?
Yeah, Winston.
We said Twinkies, not twink.
Oh yeah.
Well, that kind definitely expires.
They're not a Twinkie until the top's done.
Yeah, Winston. As far as another business that you wouldn't go to called the dump, like you wouldn't go to an abortion clinic called the dump, or would you? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, that's one that works with the dump thing.
Does that work?
Yeah, that one might. Yeah, it's like, because that's the type of thing where like you can try it both ways. You'd be like, you're not going to go to an abortion clinic called the dump, and if that gets a good response, great. But you could also be like, you're not going to go to a grocery store called a dump. You're not going to go to somewhere else called the dump, and it's like you're not going to go to the abortion clinic called the dump. It's like, well, you might go to the abortion. Like, okay, I take it back. You might go to the abortion clinic. You might go to that one, but I do like that. That's a good way to take that. But yeah, I just think drawing some sort of analogy, I think, because that is just a super funny thing, a furniture store being just called, I don't know, it's like a restaurant being called, welcome to the shithole. Like to have a seat, or just so you can just eat.
Well, here in my town, we did have a restaurant called Filthy McNasties, but everybody called it Filthy's.
Filthy
like,
McNasties.
Want to go to Filthy's later?
That's so
people would be like, yeah, sure.
Filthy McNasties.
Sounds like someplace you'd get a McLovin.
Yeah.
Well, surprisingly, I think there were a few McLovins there because people did drink underage a lot there. I know. So.
Any more feedback, you guys?
No, I thought it was a good set, man.
Very good.
Filthy McNasty's place. That sounds like a
McNasty,
fun spot. All right, Winston, you're up next. Let me know what the topic is and when you're ready to start, and I will.
Just before you stop, Winston, according to Twinkie, they have a shelf life of 25 days.
Okay.
According to the company, but
I also don't think that's right either. I think it's somewhere in between a year and infinity. I'm willing to split the difference with you, Chip. All right, my topic is crime bosses. So I will start as soon as the yawn is done. There we go. All right. Okay, so my thoughts about crime bosses. I don't know. I think that people think that it's a fun job to have, and it's not. Because if you're a crime boss, you still have to have another job. It's like, that doesn't seem fun. I feel like the best part about being a crime boss is I don't have to also run another business to launder my money. That sounds horrific. So not only do I have to know about organized crime, but I also need to just know how to run a sanitation program. Like, I don't understand. Oh, now I'm in the restaurant business. Do you know how many hours a week the owner? It's like, I just picture a crime boss who's like trying to manage all his crime stuff, but also just being like, hey man, I don't know what, we just opened up fucking Luigi's Pizza, and you know what they say with a restaurant, it takes 5 years to turn a profit. I gotta be in there 80 hours a week making sure we have that sweet, delicious New York style pizza. You also have to, like, being in the mafia is weird because it's like you have to hide that from half of your family and then get the other half of the family to be a part of it. Like, that is the whole thing. It's a crime family, but you can't let your wife and kids know about it. You know, you got to hide it a little bit. Like, that's not how other jobs work. Like, there's no other job. Like, you can't be a doctor and then, like, all your nurses are half the family and the rest of it are just like, what did you do today? It's like, oh, I just was working out on the farm. Yeah, that's an idea. Nothing there too. I also couldn't do it because it's like, I don't like organized crime. I'm not good at either of those things. I'm not organized even a little bit, and I'm really bad at crime. I get scared. Crime scares me. Like, I'm very easily like afraid. Like, I've never stolen anything in my life. The closest I came is once I went to Target and Target forgot to ring up a movie that I bought. So I drove an hour home and saw that they didn't ring it up, and I drove back to pay for it. So I don't think you can run a successful crime syndicate when you're terrified of returns. Like, I don't think like I don't think that that's a thing. You can, and also, like, I don't know, just the organization of organized crime. Like, I'm just too disorganized. I'd be putting hits out on the wrong people all the I would probably, if I couldn't remember who I'm going to get a hit on, I would just hire two people to put a hit out on each other and just be like, can you guys figure it out? Whoever lives, you keep your job. I don't really care if you're ratting me out. Al Capone's like probably the most famous crime boss ever. I think that's a name you hear, and people who don't know anything about crime bosses hear Al Capone and like they just kind of get it. He was a crime boss from the age of 26 until 33. All right, 7 years, and then he went to jail for tax evasion, which is the type of crime I would go to jail for now. Okay, like that's the type of thing where like, so if they're getting him, I have absolutely no chance at all. Also, it's really depressing to see a guy that died from syphilis at the age of 40 accomplished more by the age of 30 than I did. Like, I'm not feeling great about how well his life was in comparison to mine. Okay. Also, all these crime bosses have cool like mob names, like Al Scarface Capone, right? You got Vincent Mad Dog Cole. This is a real one. It's just silly. Joseph Joe Bananas Bonanno. This is one of the crime. And it's like, as silly as that is, I know what I look like, and I know the type of guy that I am. I wouldn't have a cool name. Like, I don't. No one's gonna take orders from Winston Dainty Feet Hodges. Like, that's not a tiny. You can't run a crime syndicate in size 8 shoes. Like, I don't think you're allowed to do that. Everyone would look at me and be like, "Where's your dad?" Actually, I was like, "Oh, you mean Big Feet Hodges?" I don't know. I also think that here we go. This will be the last thing. I also had an idea though for a show, which is Undercover Crime Boss. All right, it's exactly like Undercover Boss, but you do it with the heads of the mafia, and instead of fixing their employees' problems, they kill them. Now, hear me out. All right, I think that show would be way more exciting. I think that's all the Undercover Boss needs, is they need the CEO from Popeye murdering cashiers. I think that's the only thing that we need. But that's pretty much almost 5 minutes exactly, and so that's all the stuff that I have on crime bosses.
Hey. Sweet. You guys have any feedback?
Yeah, so you went the other direction from my notes at the end, because I was thinking the two different worlds you got to be as a crime boss with your crime boss and your regular business. Like, you know, on the crime boss side,
Ooh.
you're whacking employees, but on the regular side, you got an employee you gotta fill out an EEOC write-up on them. So it's like, you know, I need to sit down and talk to you about your behavior. And then the other guy, I need to sit down and shoot you in the head over your behavior.
I do like that. What would HR be like in the mafia?
Right.
It's like, you're going to need to sign this acquisition form out to get the cement to
right. It's like, yeah.
sleep with the fit. I like that, though. I think that's a good way. I'm going to just write switch, because that's a good way to like stretch that bit out. Crimeless regular business, no HR.
Or you get it mixed
Mafia.
up. So it's like you call somebody into the pizzeria to write them up, and you're like, okay, can you stand over the plastic? Well, and you're like, what? Oh, never mind. Never mind. Sorry.
You know what it's like working two jobs.
Yeah, that's right. different procedure. Sorry.
Yeah, I like it. That's very different procedures from a normal job. Awesome. Thanks.
Or
Joe.
like you're like one of your like workers' meth labs explodes and they die, but one of your restaurant employees files an OSHA complaint. Like, there was no West Force.
Yeah, that would be. That's so funny. It's just like, yeah, it's so many OSHA complaints at the crime scene. I like that. Awesome.
And I was thinking, like the crime boss side, do they give like employee of the month awards? Do they have like a wall with everybody's picture on it, or It's like
That's so funny, yeah. And then they just and then when those people no longer are employee of the month, they take their picture off the employee of the month wall and puts them on the recently deceased wall.
Right,
That's right next to each other. That's funny. I like that. Yeah, I felt like there was a lot of places to go with the comparisons of one, like a regular job and that job, employee of the month.
Yeah. Or if like every time someone else gets employee of the month, they end up disappearing.
That's really funny. That's my spot, Tony.
Yeah.
He's been employee of the month for 30 years.
Yeah, it's just the mob boss on it. It's just like, this place sucks. Move employee of the month from wall to
For somebody who's like insists on you giving them overtime pay, they're like, "Hey, that body took a longer time to bury."
people want insurance, and you're like, you're an independent contractor. You don't get insurance.
Can you at least pay for my gas?
No, we don't pay for gas, but you get reimbursed 10 cents for every mile. It's in the plan.
40 cents for every bullet.
Yeah, for every bullet. Yeah, we do have a bullet reimbursement program for.
That's right. Vinny, I think you're cheating on the bullets here. Twice as many as last month. And
that is funny.
Half the killings. What's going on here?
Yeah, that's why they got Al Capone for tax evasion, is all the people were turning in fake receipts. It's like, it says here you have 7,000 bullets as a work-related expense. I like that.
We counted the holes.
Yeah, we counted the holes, actually. We matched them up. I love that a numbers cruncher is who took him down. Right. That's so amazing.
Looks like we got 1,000 bullets missing here.
You got to fill out a form. I like it.
Winston, I really feel like you have to add that impression to the bit. That I really enjoyed that impression you did after the bit was over. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, I figure like an act out with it like would be nice, but it's just like I should have written one out. I'm always nervous about, even if it's a white voice like Italian, I am always nervous doing an accent on stage, because I generally don't do that. Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. You're right, Bilal?
I think you should start.
Making faces over there. Okay.
I grew up around a lot of Italian.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things where it's like I don't do like I don't normally do any other voices on stage. I'll do it riffing off stage on podcasting characters and stuff, but I'm always just nervous about like being insensitive, like doing a thing. But I do agree. I think that the Italian one is like one of the two accents that I'm still allowed to do. Right. It's like that and Irish. It's like the two I get. But that's just
remember, if you do it wrong, you could get whacked.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. It's just always good to write the note on my paper. Do an accent.
Try not to use anybody's actual name to.
Oh yeah, don't worry. Marco Spaghetti.
Yeah,
is a perfectly Italian name like that.
Oh, and that I did like your mafia nickname. That was pretty good.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you.
All right. Do you really have size 8 shoes?
Yeah, we're size 8 shoes. Yep. I do.
Art imitates life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wouldn't it be weird if Winston really was in the mob and his name was Dainty Feet?
Yeah, it is. That's why I was so quick to write this stuff up. I'm just writing my actual life problems.
I don't know. He doesn't look like he's in the mob. He looks more like Homelander from The Boys than the mob. But that's just me. I've been told that I can't see people.
No, I don't think I have a mob vibe. I would not make it an organized crime at all. That's the number of holes. Yeah,
well,
A lot of
Maybe
good
you would
notes.
be the number cruncher that would bring them down.
Yeah, that's all I am. As I'm the number cruncher that's bad at math. Yeah, I wish I was good enough in math to bring down the mob. That's hilarious. I don't know why they don't use that story to get more people to be math majors. Like that feels like the ultimate peak of being an accountant was tackling Al Capone.
Harm money, the MIT
Well, you know,
graduate.
there was that movie, The Assassin Accountant, the one with
Is it tax collector or whatever?
no,
Matt Damon.
not Matt Damon, Ben Affleck,
Oh, the
Ben-
Oh, the accountant.
Oh,
the
Yeah.
accountant. Yeah,
Yeah.
so he was an accountant and an assassin. So
Took him down.
I enjoyed that movie.
yeah, it was a good movie. Had a nice little twist with the brothers.
Wait, brothers? What?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, these were super great notes. So thank you guys so much because I was like, while I was writing this stuff, I had some stuff that I kind of want to. I wanted to like use some of this in my actual act. So I do appreciate all the notes. So thank you guys.
Awesome. Okay, I guess it's my turn to talk about.
Anti-Semitism.
Don't ruin the surprise. Now I gotta think of new slurs. No, my topic was is chess. So here we go. Chess. Chess is I don't know. Like I feel like everyone starts out playing checkers as a kid, and then you either learn how to play chess or you just keep playing checkers forever. I don't know. I don't think I've ever played checkers as an adult. But I feel like because I heard that if you play checkers too much, it'll give you skin cancer, and I don't want skin cancer. I think like if I was a dermatologist though, they could probably link like someone would walk in like, oh, my skin looks cancerous. You'd be like, have you been playing checkers? And they'd be like, yeah. You're like, okay, yeah, stop that shit. I don't know. I feel like the sun is like probably like the number 2 causer of skin cancer, like after checkers. Like it's like checkers and then the sun, and that's pretty much it. Tanning salons, I don't know, but chess is fun. It's like a checkers part 2, even though they made it before checkers was invented. I guess it's like the Miss Pac-Man of checkers. Yeah, I like chess a lot. It's really fun because even if you suck, no one will know you suck unless they play you. But if you tell people you know how to play, you sound smart. And then people play you and they'll be like, "Oh wait, no, you're really really stupid and you suck. You shouldn't have even lifted your hands. Who gave you the fucking notion that you could waste my time like this?" And they kick you in the knees. But they aim too high, so they only hurt their own feet. They should have worn hard shoes. The joke's on them. Chess. Chess is also fun because it's like you can compare everything to chess. Like a game of chess. Like everyone else out here is playing checkers, but me, I'm playing chess. Like in the business world or whatever world you find yourself mired in, like the world of underground butter wrestling. I don't know. I haven't been butter wrestling for too long, but I'm kind of an amateur butter wrestler. If you don't know anything about butter wrestling, it's when you and a bunch of guys secretly meet. Most of the time it's in an underground location, and you strip naked and dip yourself in butter, and then see how long you can wrestle for before someone slips and cracks their skull. It's normally about 30 seconds. But there's a lot of money in butter wrestling. Let me tell you, like I've made a killing, fucking just mostly selling people's organs after they crack their skulls and lose consciousness. You know that you might, give them a little kick to help them pass, and then you like, oh, all these organs are gonna go to waste. All these buttery organs. I'll just take these off your hands. You're not using them, are you? Okay, I'm done. Thanks, guys. You have any?
Hey.
Any feedback?
Yeah, I could go first. So the chess stuff, I like the chess and checkers. One thing I was thinking is that I was a chess nerd in high school as well as playing football, and I lettered in chess as well as lettering in football. So so that's like the only thing I know that a nerd can actually get a letter jacket for is chess. There's no lettering in D&D, in high school. So I like the butter wrestling. I wanted to hear, like, is this like room temperature? Do they do hot butter wrestling? I mean, are there different levels of butter wrestling? Is the butter that you're wrestling in, are there different leagues? Like you got canola oil, you got theater popcorn butter, or just like regular Land O'Lakes?
Butter lovers.
I feel like the equivalent to like doping would be using like, I can't believe it's not butter, like margarine or something. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
It's like
This is a spray.
And do you have to bring your own equipment, or is it supplied by the referee or the league,
yeah.
whatever?
But if they were really hipster and they're like, I'll only wrestle in organic cultured butter, it's not normal stuff.
The vegan butter wrestler.
That's AAA
That's
school
right.
wrestling.
That's right.
vegan butter wrestling.
Yeah.
That
Vegan
sounds like
butter
a
wrestling.
t-shirt.
Yeah. All the action with none of the guilt.
That's right.
Sunday.
And that, it would seem like, you're saying they're doing it like in these basement places. It seems like butter wrestling would be like Fight Club. You're not supposed to be talking about this, right? You're not so,
Yeah.
yeah,
The first rule of butter wrestling is don't talk about.
that's right.
The second rule is bring your own fucking butter.
That's right.
I liked I don't know, it made me laugh pretty hard when you were talking about how the sun is the second biggest cause of cancer
right.
in checkers. And I don't know why, it just made me think of sunscreen. And it's like, yeah, I don't know if you guys knew that when it says SPF, it just stands for stop playing fucking checkers. I don't know if that's what the SPF actually stands for. But I liked it, man. I thought it was like unique and weird and funny. And I don't know. My favorite part was definitely the checkers causing cancer. And then it really caught me off guard when he said, I think the sun's the second lead. I don't know. I thought that was pretty great.
Cool.
I also think that checkers is the leading cause of old men wearing cardigan sweaters on the porch. Yeah. I think.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with a good cardigan.
Right. That's how you know you've lettered in checkers.
Yeah, there's gonna be a cardigan.
You get a cardigan. You don't get a jacket. You get a cardigan sweater.
And with
the checkers,
with the butter wrestling, like what's the prize? What are you wrestling for? Like a gravy boat, or what do you get if you win?
Honor.
And what happens if you lose? Like, does the loser have to eat the butter?
Mm.
No, the loser gets their organs.
So they die.
Do
The winner gets to. What do you mean
That's
the
do the hardcore professionals churn their own butter? They don't want none of that store bought.
Yeah.
the Amish, the Mennonites.
Right, that's right. That's their advantage is they churn their own butter.
Yeah, it's like Bane from fucking Dark Knight Rises. It's like, I was born into the butter. You merely adopted it.
I'm picturing like an Amish dude, butter right. He's like got the hat on and the beard, but nothing else.
Yeah,
That's
nothing
right.
else.
Oh, you don't
Beard.
want to face Amish John over there.
Yeah, it's like,
Turns to the corner. Wife, bring out my butter.
yeah. Wife, bring out the butter.
You know, they say those Amish, they can build a butter wrestling ring in only a day.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah. They call them
Well,
butter raisings.
That's right. The whole community pitches in. The whole
Yeah,
community
pitches in to churn. Oh, we got a big butter fight tonight.
It's your turn to churn.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I'm picturing like WWE style butter wrestling. It's just it's your turn to churn.
It's your turn to churn.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Huh.
Butter wrestling.
Any more feedback, you guys? Okay, we're bringing it back around now. This is the part where you talk about anything you want to.
That was dope. We
And
hit
do
exactly
real
an
groups.
hour for the first
Yes,
half.
absolutely.
That's killer.
So, Chip, we're back to you. Let me know when you're ready to begin, and I will start your time.
Okay, so this is just regular material time. I'm ready. Let's go. I was discussing with some comedians what's the scariest thing that ever happened in your life, and I think for me it was when I went on safari in South Africa. It was interesting as we were driving along. The guide told us, safety tips, and one of the things that she told us that if you ever get into a confrontation with one of the big cats, like a lion, she said you're actually supposed to run at them instead of away from them because they have to feed every day. So they are as much afraid of getting hurt as anything else. And as luck would have it, we had stopped and I heard nature calling. And so I drifted away from the Jeep to relieve myself. And I found myself face to face with a lion. I of course forgot what the guide had told us to do. And the lion came up to me and he pressed his nose against my belly. He flinched and he ran off. And that's when I realized that you don't have to run at the lion. You just have to shit your pants. So, I'm pretty sure he thought, yeah, this does not smell like a fresh kill. I'm going to let this one go. But, what's funny about that story is that actually wasn't the thing that was the scariest part. As I was making my way back to the Jeep with loaded pants, a swarm of dung beetles attacked me and they threw me to the ground and tried to roll me up. I just barely survived that. So, oh man, I'm sure you can tell by my gray hair and my beard that I am old. And I've reached that point in my life where my body is growing hair in all these weird places, like the tops of my ears. I actually had this long hair that grew out of my ear. And when I reached to pull on it, my leg went up. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to tie this one off just in case. Last week, I had to shave the knuckles of my toes to get them into my shoe. I guess what I'm saying is it's not that I'm getting old. It's like I'm turning into a hobbit. I'm going to be looking for a quest real soon. Yeah. The other downside of old age, like I was telling you guys earlier, is that I don't have that steady stream, when I go to the bathroom, not like you young guys, where you're like little firemen with your fire hoses just spraying away, If I'm your fireman, your house is burning to the ground. I mean, it's like squirt, squirt. I mean, it usually takes so long that I usually seat myself while peeing now, which can be awkward at a urinal. You have to remember to stand up before you flush or your back gets wet. I mean, it's getting bad. I mean, my doctor now schedules me a second hour if I have to pee in a cup. I mean, it's just, it's just uncool. Oh man. What else is going on? COVID, all this death, from COVID. Well, my heroes are dying. And it actually put me in mind of one of my heroes that died a while ago, David Carradine. Do you guys remember David Carradine from Kill Bill and Kung Fu? Does anybody remember what he died of?
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
Exactly. He accidentally hung himself while masturbating. And it was weird because the Thai police that he said he had committed suicide, which I thought was odd, that they found him with a belt around his neck and his pants around his ankles. And they figured, he was killing himself and thought, last day on the planet, let me rub one out real quick. Right. But that's not what it was. And when I thought about it, David Carradine died of a character flaw. And by that, I mean he was in Thailand where you can rent 2 hookers for the night for like $7. Now, I'm not saying that he should have engaged in prostitution. I'm saying spend the money and have a couple spotters if that's what you're planning on doing later. A couple people who can cut you down if shit goes wrong.
That's great.
If somebody tells you that David Carradine died of some weird sexual fetish, no, David Carradine died because he was cheap. So remember that. Don't be cheap because that shit can actually kill you. And I guess I'll end with this last one. I've been feeling really bad about race relations under this Trump administration. I was in downtown D.C. recently, and this little white 6-year-old girl was walking in front of me, and she looked back and saw me, and she immediately took her Barbie purse, and she moved it to the other side of her body and clutched it really tight. And I got to be honest, it made me a little sad. I think mainly because it meant I had to knock her to the ground to snatch it. Yeah, this racism isn't working out for either one of us. So I'm Chip Jones from DC. Thanks for listening. Whoa.
Yeah.
Awesome, Chip.
Thank you.
You guys have any feedback?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked how you mixed, like you were going in that direction of pathos, but then you would sort of come out with a joke, like out of nowhere, kind of.
Thank you.
Or not out of nowhere, but the setup was really.
How much time was that?
That was 5 minutes and 3 seconds.
Okay, all right.
Right on the money. Only like a couple notes. One, I think that first bit about shitting your pants. I think that I don't think you need to explain how it came up in conversation. I think you could say 15 to 20. You could shave 15 to 20 seconds off that bit just by being like. I think the most dangerous thing I ever did was I went on safari in South Africa, and they told me that if a tiger's just as scared of getting hurt, so run right at it. And then you cut a bunch of time off and you get to your punchline pretty quickly because that punchline's great. Okay. I just think as far as for like just economy of words or trying to get to that punchline faster, I don't even think you need to do the thing where it's like, hey, I was talking to people about, I can't remember if you said most dangerous or most adventurous.
The scariest.
Yeah, scariest. I couldn't remember. But like, I think you could just straight up say the scariest thing I've ever done. And the audience is already going to be like listening to you because that's a super unique way to start a bit out. Like, oh, what's the scariest thing this guy's ever done? And then the other two notes are just like the getting a couple spotters is a great joke. That David Carradine thing, like that is a really well constructed, awesome joke. I did not see that coming. It's a great way of being like, I'm not saying you should just fuck somebody. It's just like have somebody there to make sure you don't get hurt or like having spotters. Like that's great. And then saying he died because he was cheap. I really enjoyed that joke, Chip. That was really awesome.
Yeah.
I guess well constructed.
It's funny because I wrote that joke actually as a closer because usually when I perform it live, I'll throw in, don't be cheap, tip your bartender and your waiter because that shit can actually kill you. So it was actually, sort of set up for.
Yeah, but that is a great, that's a great closing joke. But
thank you.
That couple spotters line really, it hit me really hard because I did not see where you're going with that joke at all. I was like, oh, okay. I said, okay, that's funny. He's going to talk about how you like, who would do that when you could fuck a bunch of women? But the fact that you turned it about like, no, you're into whatever you're into. I'm not trying to change that. It's just use all the safety precautions you got. That was really great.
Thank you.
I was thinking for the first with the lion. What if after that, like, you just start carrying around like emergency laxatives, like at all times?
That's so funny. It's in your go bag.
There we go, man.
You
If
don't
I ever go on safari again, or just in case I run into a lion back at home.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Like, yeah, after my trip, I make sure to never leave home without my laxative.
That's it, right.
Like
And-
those times when lions escape from the zoo or something.
Right. Or maybe I'll take that next level and just practice shitting in my pants. I'm able now to shit on command.
Question that I had was, what did you eat before going on safari? Like that, like whatever they smelled, like maybe that was just like if you hadn't eaten exactly what you ate, they would have eaten you. But because you ate what you ate and shit it out, then they left you alone. Like that's
I just kind of think that lions are like, I mean, if you smell something that smells like it shit his pants, no matter what it is, you're probably gonna pass.
Yeah, it's fair.
I think if somebody gave you fried chicken and it had shit on it, I think you're not really worried about, well, what did the chicken eat
Yeah,
before it
exactly.
shit. It's like
You brush it off.
I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass.
but
Maybe it
people
was
eat
Arby's.
non-deveined shrimp though. So it's like ew.
Yeah, that is it. Well, I think those people eat non-deveined shrimp because they don't know that it's shit.
No, yeah, they don't know you're supposed to devein the shrimp.
It's because the marketing is like, oh, it's not de-shitted, it's deveined. Really?
Yeah, it's de-shitted. That'd be funny though. It's just like if they did brand it that, because then it would just be like, oh shit, they got all the shit out of the shrimp. That's one of them. That's good. That's one of them non-shit shrimps. That's good.
Yeah, what if that was your job?
But
though?
then- but then some,
Yeah,
people, some people will be like, they took all the flavor out though.
that's so funny. It's like they don't tell you shit. The shit's where the shrimp flavor's at.
That's right.
Yeah. I was picturing like that being your job, and then you're like on a date or something. Like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I squeeze the shit out of shrimp veins with my hands.
You mean you squeeze them really hard? No, I mean I literally squeeze the shit out of shrimp.
Well,
Yeah,
technically,
shrimp
you were a
pincer.
deveined human, so the lion should have eaten you. But you were deveined.
It's de-shitted.
You were
It's
de-shitted.
like these humans are deveining themselves.
Yeah, I know,
You
right?
also, you ever hear the thing about how some animals, when they're in danger, well, most of them, they'll like shit to make themselves lighter.
No, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like a lot of animals do. Like if they feel frightened, they'll shit, and it's to so they'll be faster when they're
Oh, yeah.
escaping. But I feel like pants kind of ruins that, because it gets in the way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, babies do that.
Babies can't run though.
Toddlers then.
Yeah, I don't know if toddlers are shitting to make themselves lighter to run. I don't think they're thinking that.
Not that they do it on purpose. Like that's just what they do. Like they'll start running and then it just.
Any more feedback, you guys?
That was a really good set, Chip.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, Matt, you're up next. Let me know when you're ready to begin, and I'll start your time.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so since Bilal mentioned skin cancer earlier, I actually had skin cancer one time. And I know you might look at me and think, this isn't the type of guy who would get skin cancer. But I totally did get skin cancer. And it was actually, the funny thing was, it was on my neck. So, like, on the left side of my neck, you can still kind of see the surgery scar, but the unfortunate or fortunate thing about it was that scar really looked like a hickey when it was new. So sometimes random people would come up to me and be like, you got lucky, Matt. And then I'm like, thanks. her sign was Cancer. And like, yeah. So wear sunscreen. And another fun fact, because I was reading about this, but in Victorian England, people used to actually eat mummies as a snack. So, like ancient Egyptian mummies, they would take them, they would have a party, and they would like eat the mummy. And what I'm thinking is, if I lived in that time, I would totally be one of those people. You know, I'd be like Instagramming the mummy and being like, hashtag yummy mummy, and I'm not talking about a MILF. Yeah, but sometimes, you know, you would go to the bad restaurants and it'd be like, these fries are using the fake mummy oil. I don't taste any real mummy on these fries right now. So, you know. And right now, they say, what can you, I have a bachelor's in English, and they say, what can you do with a bachelor's in English? Well, right now, I'm getting my master's in English, which is about the only thing you can do. So, you know, when I'm not hired by jobs, my excuse won't be, you're unemployable. It'll be, you're overqualified. So, really, at the end of the day, I'm kind of winning. And you know what? When you're unemployed, don't say you're unemployed. Try to, you know, mix it up and make it fun. Say something like, I'm a socialite. I'm a soldier of fortune looking for their next mission. You know, keep it fun. Surprise people. And, oh man, I have some old jokes I wrote up, and these were actually based on a few studies here. So one time a study was conducted in the UK to determine whether sheep were capable of recognizing the faces of other sheep. And the unfortunate thing about that was they had a hard time staying awake from the study because there were just so many sheep going by. And another study, Stockholm University, found that a disgusted reaction to body odor can successfully predict a preference for authoritarianism. So don't tell me to wear deodorant, you fascist. And believe it or not, another study from Stockholm University discovered that chickens show similar preference for attractive faces as do humans. But I mean, it won't matter to the chickens when you're shoving their delicious meat into your beautiful face. And Australian scientists did a study on why wombats make cute-shaped food. And it is concluded that, you know, Quality Street pot of gold, they need to get their chocolates from somewhere. So, you know, it's wombat. And, yeah. And, you know, sometimes, like, the thing is, I have two siblings, and they're both very, very successful people. Like, so, you know, I'm kind of not, I kind of feel like, you know, I'm like, not the black sheep of my family, but I'll say I'm the last waffle, because you've heard of the first pancake, how the first pancake never comes out perfect. Well, I'm the last waffle. You know, when there's that little bit of batter left in there, like, I don't know, should we even make this waffle? Well, we need to save our marriage. So then they make that tiny little waffle. And that's me. And, you know, when I thought about this, you know, I kind of got a bit depressed. I, you know, needed to go for some therapy, and my therapist, you know, recommended I try CBT. And I said, cock and ball torture. Doctor, have you been reading my FetLife profile? And it turns out they had. And that's what I said.
Woo.
Sweet. You guys have any feedback?
I like how when you say what you do when you get a degree in English or a bachelor's in English, you get a master's.
Yeah.
And then that's what you do. That's it. It's over. Like that.
Yes.
It's funny.
Yeah, that was super funny.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
That's a good joke.
True to life.
Yeah, it's good though. The only note I had for that joke, because I do think it's really funny. It's just another economy of words thing. I think it could be super simple about being like, and what can you get with an English degree? You can get a master's in English. Like, I think that's, you can just go right into it and be like, and then you can, and then you saying that it's like, which is what I'm currently doing right now. Like, I think you'll see when you do a live show, that'll almost function like a tag, and you'll get 2 laughs. Like, you can also get a master's and just be like, so I recently went and started getting my master's degree in English. So it's just like, I don't know. I think it's just a way to get a couple extra laughs out of that. That's a really good joke, though.
Oh, thanks.
And I liked your neck hickey joke. Like, I like that a lot. And just where I thought you were going to take it is when they said, "Oh, you got lucky." And then it's just, and me, like, my first mindset is your response was going to be like, "Yeah, I did. How did you know it wasn't melanoma?" It's just like, because it's, I don't know, but I liked it. I think that was a really good joke too.
Yeah. The thing is, like, you had cancer for real.
Yeah,
It's-
I did actually, but it was caught super early though, so I'm like totally fine. Like, this happened like around 2008, so it was a long time ago. But yeah, I'm totally fine now. But
Well, that's
Yeah,
just
but, like-
that's just terrible. It's terrible. That's what that is.
Oh.
Because since you did your cancer joke, I can't do mine tonight. So I don't know
no,
what
you
I'm
can
gonna
do it.
You can do it.
No.
It's not the same cancer joke, is it? Like, is it?
It's the exact same joke. It's crazy.
Yeah, if it's the exact same
Really?
joke, then you're
The
correct.
only difference is it wasn't my neck. That's it.
It was his back, his pussy, and his crack.
It's wet ass trash.
Yeah.
Wet ass cancer.
Yeah, got that whack.
Yeah.
Really? That's so funny.
Am
Jeez.
I the only one here who didn't have cancer?
I haven't had cancer.
I haven't had cancer.
I'm still young though.
You guys don't have to lie.
I got time.
I mean, I barely had it. I don't want to steal valor, but
Too late. You already did.
Damn
Quad
it.
piss, dude.
Damn it.
Now, Nick, if I'm ever invited back to this show, I will do that. I will tell my cancer joke. If no one else is just so selfish to tell theirs first next time.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, usually people will say, "Anybody got a cancer joke?" Because I was going to do one.
Yeah.
Make sure.
Yeah, I can't believe we didn't go over that in the pre-show meeting. What an that's the first comedy show I've ever been on where.
All right, I haven't asked it. Who's got cancer? All right, who's got cancer?
That's crazy.
The thing about eating mummies, like I really like I'd heard that before, but I'd forgotten about it until you mentioned it. But like, okay, so have you ever had like baklava?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be like it would taste like that? Like you think it like put honey on it or something? Like, because I could see it tasting good if it were served like that. Like it was a combination of like baklava and beef jerky.
Yum.
Mm.
But that's like
Yeah,
a very weird way to do cannibalism.
Aged beef jerky, like really aged beef.
Yeah. It's those Egyptian spices.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think like. I feel like that's a gold mine right there. That,
Yeah.
mummy
That's
thing.
funny. Well, if we're on the topic of you doing jokes, it's like when you went over cock and ball torture. Now I can't do my 5 minutes on how I love to have my cock and balls tortured.
When everybody,
I thought that was really funny. That made me. I just hadn't heard cock and ball torture in a while, so it's nice. It's nice to hear. CBT, which is super funny because because they're talking about what cognitive behavioral therapy.
Yeah,
Is that
cognitive
it's really. So I like that. That was a good joke, man. I thought that was
Did you
funny.
say cognitive bagel therapy?
Behavior.
Behavioral, but
Oh, okay.
bagels are a big part of it.
Yeah.
It's a very big part of it.
well, I mean, maybe you're just feeling depressed because you're a bit hangry and
Yeah.
having a bagel. So
Can you
fuck,
imagine-
I'm late for bagel therapy.
Can you imagine paying a $150 copay and going to a therapist, and at the end he's just like, "I think you're just angry." It's like, I'll kill you, dude. What do you-
He's like,
Well, before you kill me, eat the
here,
steak.
yeah, here. Let
Test
me,
my theory.
here. Let me fix you a sandwich.
That would be a cool name for like a bagel shop, though, like cognitive bagel therapy.
I thought you were gonna say cock and bagel torture.
Cognitive.
Yeah, it's cock and bagel
So,
torture, dude. It's like, what does that mean? Put your
so-
dick in there, baby.
That's it. So Winston, how was your therapy today? Oh, I had the best Reuben. It was great.
Delicious.
It was delicious.
This made me feel so much better about everything.
You got a Jewish therapist and a Jewish deli all in the same place.
Right.
So what if they don't even like give you a bagel? They just like describe a bagel in great detail.
It's like, can you close your eyes? We're actually a hypno bagel shop.
That's right.
We're gonna bagel therapy.
Okay, can you close your eyes and tell me why you hate your mother's bagel?
Yeah, why did you? Hell yeah, dude. That was a good set, though. I thought it was really funny.
Oh, thank you.
It was,
Yeah.
it was cool to see you when you do a set that wasn't based on a prompt. That's like my favorite part of this show. Is just seeing people work out stuff and then getting a feel for like what their actual style is when they do their sets. It's really cool.
Oh, thank you.
Any more feedback, y'all? All right, I guess we're ready to move on. Clyde, you're up next. Let me know when you're ready to begin, and I will start your time.
I'm never ready, but let's begin anyway. So just tell you a little bit about me. I cannot babysit your baby until they're old enough not to be cross-eyed. Not about to steal my bike. The regional urology, pass by there. They also do not have a public restroom. False advertising. I think it'd be a good way to get patients if they had one. And like, well, since you're here, yeah. I think if the church had an OnlyFans, it would help them save money on lawsuits. That's what I believe. I think when you pray for someone, you should use their full government name so it's not confusing. It's like, yeah, I'm praying for Mike Sanchez, lives on 3rd Street, drives a black truck. And I know 8 of them motherfuckers. What? Come on. Fellas, if a woman kills bugs with her fingers, she will probably kick your ass. Like, that's probably true. Fellas, if she walks to the store barefoot, she kills bugs with her fingers. Dude, if she is walking alone with her purse under her arm, she has a gun and she will shoot you in the crotch with it. Now, I dated a blind chick once. Well, she wasn't blind in the traditional sense. She just had really, really big lashes, and they were too heavy on her eyes. She couldn't open them. That's what that was. And women say they don't want a broke man, but that's almost always the first guy they cheat with. I'm tired of people telling me, don't tell me how old you were when you started doing something as a way of convincing me that how good you are. I asked a mechanic if he was any good. He said, yeah, he's been working on cars since he was 11. Bullshit. My wife has been fucking since she was 14 and she still just lays there. Okay? Don't care. And I didn't learn how to treat a woman until after I was married. That's actually how my wife found out I was cheating on her. I did something nice for her by accident. I waited for her to orgasm first. When she finished, she said, "Who is she?" And that was the beginning of the end. That's when I found out that she kills bugs with her fingers. Anyway, that's all I got for now. I'm done.
Cool,
Nice.
cool. You guys have any feedback?
Yes, I like how you paint a picture of the woman who kills bugs. And then, yeah, that was really good.
I like the urologist that doesn't have a bathroom.
Yeah.
but I'm thinking they would at least give you a cup to pee in.
Yeah, or a questionnaire, or just
Yeah,
like when you
yeah.
come out, they're like that took you a while. You want to sit down and have a free consultation? If you want to. But I do think that's funny.
Well, I feel like you could walk in there and just pull your dick out and just piss all over the lobby. And be like, I can't stop pissing, and just like piss all over everything. Like, oh my god, get our doctor out here. And he comes out and you're just like, I'm done, and you just leave.
Oh my god, get this man a bagel.
I was thinking that the part 2 with the guy who says he's been working on cars since he was 11. It's like it turned out he was working on the same car since he was 11.
That's a good note.
They were Hot Wheels cars.
No, it's just that he's so bad. It's like taking him still 20 years to try to fix this damn car.
And the joke about your wife not fucking, I've been fucking since she was 14 and still isn't any good at it. It's a really good joke. I like that. I thought that was a good turn on the. So that was
Well,
pretty
what
good.
if I felt like that would have been a good setup to be like, she's still 14, but it's not an excuse.
I am not in Hollywood yet, Bilal. Okay.
Yeah, nothing like spicing up your set with a pedophile joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right there, you know. Like
I know.
So yeah, we were watching Cuties together.
And so will the women in the audience. As soon as you tell that joke, they'll be right there too. As soon as you come down.
like no, I'm joking. She's 12.
That's right.
I wouldn't do that one.
But he'll give it to you as a joke. He wouldn't do it.
This won't work in my act, but Clyde, you feel like you got a lot of pedophile material. If you could go ahead and slide this in there, fits with your oeuvre.
It's like, joke's on you. Her mother's 14.
Don't tell that one at the QAnon.
Yeah.
Only if you bring pizza.
Yeah.
Oh, ew, Pizzagate. Ew.
Let me see. Fuck, there was something I was thinking of. I'll probably remember it shortly.
I won the Secret Shopper prize.
That's right. So, do you know a woman who kills bugs with her fingers? Is this from a real life?
Every woman I grew up with.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I thought that was a funny visual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds like a setup for like an Elmer Fudd joke.
There's some, I can't remember if it was a movie or a drama, and I think it was Henry Winkler who had a fetish about women stepping on smashing insects because he had seen his mother step on an insect when he was a kid, and so he would hire women to step on insects.
Ew, insect porn.
Yeah, and I can't remember what show that was.
I'm trying to look it up.
Mainstream.
And what's weird, I feel like that reminds me of something, but I cannot think of what.
Oh, I think this was on Ally McBeal.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yes, yeah, because I looked it up, and that's the first result that came up.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
Any more feedback, you guys?
That was great stuff.
It was good stuff. Yep.
Woo.
All right, Winston, it's your turn. Let me know when you're ready to begin.
Cool. Let me get my timer ready. Yeah, so I'm ready. I don't know, man. I was thinking about like some children's films that I like recently. I used to really like The Brave Little Toaster. I don't know if anyone's like familiar with
Mhm.
that. If you've never seen The Brave Little Toaster, it's just Toy Story with trash. That's all it is. It's a bunch of garbage that comes to life in the woods and travels back, and hopefully doesn't get thrown away. Okay, it's the whole premise of the movie. But about an hour into the movie, all the trash that you have grown to know and love goes to basically a city dump, and then set to music, you get to watch a bunch of anthropomorphic trash get killed and murdered in front of your 7-year-old eyes. So basically, all I'm saying is my therapist and I agree that Brave Little Toaster is the reason I am a hoarder. Okay, it is the only reason. I love all the garbage in my room. I never know if those bottles of piss are going to start breaking out into song. You don't ever know. You don't want to kill them. I also just like the Brave Little Toaster is just such a silly premise for a movie. Like it's about like you read and you're like, okay, this is kind of weird and silly. And then the sequel is even crazier, because the sequel is they go to Mars, which is just outstanding. I love a movie where they're sending trash places humans haven't even gone yet. Isn't that great? It's like we're sending. It's like, oh my god, I love it. Brave Little. This is definitely a high. People were high when they came up with that one. I'll figure out something that goes to Mars portion of it. I think all women follow astrology, like they're all into it. If a woman ever tells you that she's not into astrology, it's only because her horoscope told her to lie that day. Every single one I go on a date with, man, it's just like, I don't care about it, but the women know how to get me to care. All right, here's a perfect example. Like if you want to get a guy to care about astrology, this is what you do. You go on a date with him, and then about an hour and a half into the date, you ask what his sign is. And then when he answers, you look him in the eyes and you just say, oh, that makes sense. What the fuck does that mean? You should not be allowed to say that to me on a date. That's upsetting. You now just turn this date into a research project. All right. It's just me. Have you guys ever like been accused of something, but you can't react in a proper way because you'll prove their point? Anyone ever done that? Yeah, so that's what it is. It's just me being like, yeah, I'm a Cancer. And they're like, oh, well, that makes sense. And then I'm looking up quick to anger. What the fuck does that mean? How dare you do that to me? Really emotional? And I'm just fucking crying at the restaurant. And it's just like, no, you can't prove her point. But that's how ladies can get you into it. I also like that we right now are living in an apocalypse that half the world doesn't believe is happening. That is out. There's no other apocalypse that's like that. It's a very different zombie movie. If you're watching like Night of the Living Dead and people are walking around and nobody gives a shit, they don't have their protective gear on. It's like, what are you doing? They're like, oh, it's nothing. The zombies, that's just a liberal conspiracy. What are you talking about? I'm like, whoa. I'm like, that lady is literally biting someone in the neck. And they're like, that's Nancy Grace. That's just her TV show. That's what she does. She just bites white men in the neck, you know. Get out of here, silly goose. You don't want to. I don't know if you guys know any furries or know what a furry is, but I don't know why there aren't more furries. Like, I'm not a furry, but I'm not a furry because I just found out what it was like a year ago. Like, if I'd have found out about furries when I was 13 and was getting into everything that I got into in my life, it's like, it's just imagine someone coming up to you and being like, hey, in 15 years, not only did you have sex with a woman, but you get to dress like a dragon. I'm like, holy shit, a dragon. Really, a dragon? It's like, do I have to fuck the woman or can I just dress like a dragon? Okay, if I've got to fuck them, I'll do that. Do I come fire? Who cares? I'll sign. We'll worry about it later. I just think that would just make more sense to me. And the last thing I do, I was born and raised in Farmville, Virginia, which is America's first 2-college town. But it's like those 2 colleges were built to keep the books away from the townspeople. That's kind of what it is right there. Just like a bunch of really smart people just holding up all the books in a tower. It's crazy. It's like here's the type of small private school I went to in Farmville, Virginia. Every year, our high school fundraiser was we would have a skeet shooting competition on campus. Yep, that's right. for 15 years, teachers were definitely not being like, hey, you can't bring guns to school. No, my school was like, hey, you can't bring guns to school unless you brought enough to share. If you have one for everybody in class, that's okay. But that's my time. Thank you very much.
Hey.
Cool. Sweet. You guys have any feedback?
Good stuff.
Yeah, I like
that.
the COVID joke, the zombie one, like especially about Nancy Grace. She just is that.
Who is Nancy
And also,
Grace?
like, as somebody from outside the Washington, D.C. area, when I hear Farmville, I think of, like, the old Facebook game people used to play. So if ever you tour around, like, maybe mention. Oh, no, you're muted.
Oh, trust me, I'm well aware. I've met people that like when that I was in college when that game came out, and it was what I got all. It's literally I remember it distinctly. A lady had on a shirt that said, "It's from this famous like a locally famous T-shirt place that said, 'Where the hell is Farmville, Virginia?'" And she's wearing it. And she's like, "Can you look at this shirt?" It's like, "Can you believe it? It's like the game." And I'm like, "That's my life." Like you are mocking my life right now. But that's fair. Yeah, the Facebook game. I thought about writing it in there, but I didn't know if it had been so long that that's like not a thing people are aware of. But I don't know.
Z
Yeah,
might not get
yeah, it may not. But also, you're talking about furries.
Yes, sir.
So do you know the story of Joe Arpaio, right? Do you know?
Oh, yeah, Sheriff Joe. Yeah.
You know, but you know the furry story.
I don't know if I know the furry story. What is the?
Well, he got tapped to. They had a big furry convention, and he got tapped to welcome them to the city. He didn't know what they were
That's amazing.
until after he did the welcome, and then after that he tried to backpedal. You know, it's like I don't know.
Amazing.
I don't believe in that kind of stuff. After he already did a whole big celebration welcome to town.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, check it out.
Bilal, Nancy Grace hosts like a talk show that's like, but it's like she's kind of just like a really shrill, loud, somewhat left-wing woman that spews a lot of like false information and stuff on her show. So it's like that's who Nancy, because I think you asked and we like skimmed over it. So I just wanted to respond.
She fashions herself like a vigilante news person. Like she goes after pedophiles, you know, and she sucks.
They should frap.
She's like 50-50 on being right. So she's the kind of person that will go after an innocent person and ruin their lives, and then we'll do like a 15-minute retraction after she destroyed
at the end. Yeah, at the end of the show.
Person.
Yeah, exactly. If Facebook was a person, it's like oopsie.
Yeah, I've seen the All Gas No Breaks. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah. I shared that in the.
That's such a funny video. That guy's awesome.
Yeah, I love that.
I was thinking, what if you went to a drag show dressed as a dragon by accident? You're like, oh, is this not what we were doing?
Oh, I thought this was a dragon show.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. I thought it was Dragon Queen. I thought that's what it was.
It's like a dragon.
Yeah, dress like a dragon, listen to some Queen.
Yeah, drag, just like a dragon, and you're like, oh, this is a drag show, not a dragon show. Oh, that's okay. I got heels in the car. No
yeah,
problem.
it's okay. Don't worry. How dare you assume my dragon's gender, you piece of shit?
Oh, Winston.
Yes, sir.
I really, really want to see the movie based on your COVID joke. I just really want to see that so bad right now. You have no idea. That would be amazing. If I could, I would shoot it myself.
Yeah.
I think that is freaking amazing.
Awesome.
You probably didn't see my eyes light up when you started talking, but I just
think it's just so silly. I don't know. It's just weird to be in a situation where half the world thinks it's ending and the other half is like, fine. I got to think of some other post-apocalyptic movies that would be like silly like that, because I do think that there's some more legs to that joke, but I just always stall out after talking about the zombies, and the Nancy Grace thing makes me laugh so much inside that I. But awesome. I'll have to read into that Joe Arpaio thing because I have other furry material and I would love to keep adding to it because I have like 2 or 3 more furry jokes.
I just think it's hilarious that he has no idea and he's walking up to the convention. It's like,
Yeah, that's why we didn't even like ask the question.
right, yeah.
Can you introduce the furries? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. That's
Sure,
fine.
yeah. It must be one of those long-haired hippie bands.
Yeah, he said furries. Like, yeah, I'll introduce. He thought he was being progressive by introducing a hippie jam band. He's like, yeah, I'll introduce the goddamn furries.
Furries.
The apocalypse.
Yeah, definitely watch the video I posted.
Yeah, well,
It's very funny.
I was thinking like freeze. I don't know. There's some.
Furious.
I think like the word freeze. Furries.
Furries freeze furiously.
Furries.
The Fast and the Furious.
yeah, Fast and the Furious.
Furious.
Yeah. Freeze. Nice. Joe Arpaio.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up because it's like the route I try to take with jokes about different weird kinks and stuff is I try to write jokes where the kink isn't the butt of the joke. It's more so just like if I could find like something where Joe Arpaio, it's making fun of him, that would be great to add to it because it's like I don't know because everybody just shits on all these kinks because it's like it is funny and it's fucking ridiculous. But it's like I like trying to find a way to be like, yeah, I wish I could do that, but I'm just too old to get into it. But like,
That's right.
It'll be like he thinks they're weird. I mean, the dude runs a prison. I mean, there's a whole bunch of sexual pathology there because he make his prisoners wear pink.
Yeah.
And he was
Also,
like,
who's angrier? You know what I'm saying? Like him that he has to do it, or them being like, why do we have to be introduced by this racist?
Right.
yeah.
Like they were just as outraged. Yeah.
Who thought this was a good idea?
Yeah. It's like I didn't want to be introduced by the fucking Trump supporter.
No.
Cool, great notes, guys.
I'm sure he got razzed at the cross burnings. Did you see what Joe did?
Yeah. It's like, Joe, I thought you'd become dressed as a goddamn
squirrel or something.
Yeah.
Or come dressed as a goddamn coon.
Yeah, no, it's just like here comes Joe. I thought you'd be dressed like a literal grand dragon.
No, this is I'm an albino traffic cone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
Good notes.
Mm-mm-mm.
Any more feedback, you guys? What was that? What the fuck?
It was literal feedback.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay, I think it's gone. Okay, now I think I'm gonna say some jokes.
Hell yeah.
So here we go. Cool. I went to buy a shotgun the other day, and did you know they stopped giving you the dipping sauce for free when you buy the gun? Now like they're like, oh, you got to pay an extra 89 cents. And I'm like, when I was a kid, they would give you the sauce for free, but now you charge me almost a fucking whole $1. What is this world coming to? You know, like trying to nickel, because I'm not gonna put a flavorless gun in my mouth. That's just out of the question. It's just nah. I get pulled over a lot, and every time I get pulled over, the cops always want to search my car. I think it's because I kind of act like the guy in Scooby-Doo that they want you to think did it. But you know when someone's being really nosy and you see it about to fuck them over, but they keep going, so you're like, all right, whatever happens. Because they always look in your car like they're going to find some big ass stash of drugs or something. Then they pop your trunk and find a Foot Locker full of baby heads. Like, I've never seen those baby heads in my life, officer. They are not mine. I don't know where those came from. You want some peanuts? These are mine. I bought them. I bought them at the store. They weren't even on sale. I paid full price for them. These are Planters. I paid full price for these name brand peanuts. So I was raping a pile of dead babies the other day, and I was thinking, you think anyone's ever been walking in the woods and they see a bear, and the bear sees them, and they're like, oh, fuck, this bear's about to kill me. So they go to run them, but then they, like, twist their ankle and they fall, and now the bear is standing over them, and it just looks at them, and it's like, I don't hate you, but if you died, I wouldn't be sad. And I just walked off into the sunset. I had a friend who jerked off 6 million Jews. We called him Beat Off Hitler. Yeah. I was at work one time and they were all getting food and they were like, "Hey, you want anything?" And I was like, "Oh, where are you guys going?" And they're like, "Oh, we're going to Wendy's." And I don't like Wendy's because their hamburgers are square. Because I don't eat anything with corners because I don't want to cut myself. Plus, there could be anything hiding around those corners. You know, there could be like a robber. Like you open it up, a robber hops out. He's like, "Give me all your money." And you're like, "Oh fuck, I spent it all at Wendy's." All 4 of my dollars. Let me see. You ever be at home like watching TV and reclining and eat a bowl of like cereal or ramen noodles and you reach that perfect angle, but you realize at that angle the bowl is blocking TV, so you run down to the plastic surgeon and get a bowl inserted into your torso so it doesn't break the plane. And then one day you're running on the beach with no shirt and someone comes up to you and they're like, "Hey, what is that in you? Is that like a divot?" You're like, "Yeah, it's my bowl divot." And they start like feeling around it and they stick their head inside and they go up and you go up and they're like, "Whoa, holy shit, you're like a human hat." And you're like, "Well, I guess I am like a human hat. What the fuck?" So you run down the patent office and take the patent out on being a human hat to start renting yourself out as a human hat. Then you make enough money where you can just hire a bunch of people to do it for you. So you just hire a bunch of contortionists because a contortionist can be any type of hat you want. You know, you can be like, "Hey, be a top hat." Then they twist their body in some ungodly way and you got yourself a top hat. I think that's where all top hats come from. Abraham Lincoln was an evil man. I used to think that Nicolas Cage was just where they put you when you don't have any nickels. When I was a kid, I used to have a pet turtle, but it died, and I kind of forgot about it because it was around the same time my Xbox died, and I felt way worse about that. Wait, did I say Xbox? I meant parents. I'm done. Thanks, guys. Any feedback?
You went dark.
Yeah.
What was the raping dead babies joke? Because I missed the punchline on it. Like the like what I know that's the beginning part, but like what was the
The joke was like I think like about 2 minutes long.
Yeah, it's a callback to the heads in the car in the trunk,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like all right. That's what I thought. I was making sure.
Yeah, it was kind of like a segue.
Okay, because my like audio like it cut out right
Cut
when
out
it
right, yeah.
because
Oh, shit, really?
when people were because when no it was just on my end because when people were laughing sometimes it'll like over like rule it and so I couldn't hear anything for like 20 seconds and then we came back and we were just in the middle of another bit and I was like all right I feel like I really missed what happened here.
You got stuck in the Nicolas Cage.
I
Yeah,
missed the essence of the dead baby joke.
Yeah,
Yeah, Yeah.
The only note that I had was the sticking the gun in your mouth, just like a line you might want to use is if I could afford extra sauce, I wouldn't need to kill myself. It's like that's why I'm here. But it's like but that's just one thing that popped in my head because I like that joke. I think and I think that you might want to slow down just a little bit because I think some audiences aren't going to because we get that you're taking the normal complaint that people have about McDonald's or Chick-fil-A charging extra for sauce and applying it to putting a gun in your mouth. And that's a really funny idea. But I say take a second because especially eventually when you do it in person, I feel like you're going to have people who are going to be like, what? And then it just will take them a beat to understand it. But if you slow it down just a little bit, I think they might pick up on it sooner because by the time you get to the end part, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, he's saying I'm not going to stick this flavorless gun in my mouth. And
Right.
I think stuff like that. But I like that joke.
Yeah, I thought I missed something for a while. I was like, wait a second. Where? What?
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, harder enunciation because at first I thought you said gum, flavorless gum in my mouth.
Oh, shit.
See, I thought you said gun, but then I thought that I just misheard it. And then I caught up I said, oh.
Well, he opens by saying he went to buy a shotgun.
Right.
So he says the specific thing, and it's like
right.
So,
but I'm saying when he kept going, I thought okay, maybe he didn't say that. Maybe I'm just a crazy person.
Yeah.
Which is
But I agree. Maybe slowing down and enunciating that part so that you don't
get tongue reduction surgery.
Yeah. That.
Or if you with that, if you don't slow it down, just paint the picture a little bit more. It's or it's say something. Yeah, I went to the I went to the gun shop and bought a gun, a shotgun at the gun shop, something like that. So that way it reinforces okay, yeah, we're definitely at the gun shop. He's definitely putting a shotgun in his mouth. He's definitely getting some sauce for this gun. Or being overcharged for it.
Yeah, or just pick a word that doesn't sound so much like gun, like use pistol or rifle. Because I picked up exactly what you were saying, but if a couple people are mishearing it, it might just be something where it's at least worth trying. I went to the gun shop and bought a rifle, and just because rifle sounds so different than I don't know. It's when they hear those together, I think it might just make it.
Not a lot of people kill themselves with rifles.
No.
Well, you say pistol.
Yeah, pistol.
I mean, yeah.
All right, I might do that.
I disagree. I like shotgun. I just wanted to make sure that's what I heard. That's all.
Yeah, but if you're in a comedy writing session and you're having difficulty understanding it, then the audience.
but that's what I'm saying. I just for me, I understood what he said. It's just because I felt like I wanted more clarification to make sure I didn't. Because I heard he said, I just thought I was hallucinating. I just thought I must have misheard him. He didn't say shotgun, but he did.
Yeah.
And so for me, just having that, that extra little thing was all I need. Now again, this is just me. I'm from Louisiana. You can't trust what I'm saying to you.
Yeah.
You can't trust us.
Yeah, I think it's
I
think it's just different styles. Just whatever you prefer. It's because I think he's right. You could just repeat it a bunch or just get a more distinct word, because then when you're hopping back and forth between gun or rifle or gun and pistol or whatever, it just
my voice sounds like the Wicked Witch of the West on a shortwave radio, so I can't really give people
but it's I like that joke, so don't let any notes take away from the fact that I enjoy that joke, and I like the premise of that joke, and I like the idea of taking a normal complaint and applying it to suicide. I think it's a interesting and unique take. I think it's funny.
Bilal, Winston is not your friend. Don't trust him.
Yeah, don't trust me. Don't let me punch up your material.
No, I'm just I'm just kidding. I'm messing around.
Does this mean Winston's from Louisiana too?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
He's been lying to us this entire time.
Whole time, baby.
And he's actually the first person from Louisiana with the name Winston.
That's right. The only one in the Ninth Ward named Winston. You can just go
Yeah.
there and yell Winston, and everybody, oh, he's over there.
Yeah, no, Winston.
Over there.
He's right there.
I'm trying to figure out what the Louisiana of Canada would be.
The Louisiana, Canada. Yeah.
Somewhere should figure it out, and then they can put that on.
Quebec. I think Quebec would be.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any more feedback, you guys?
Yes, I like the bowl divot idea, and just that whole session where you take it, where you took it, and yeah, and then eventually it becomes about Abraham Lincoln was a terrible man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Sweet. Cool. Thanks. Any more feedback, you guys?
Nope.
I like Nicolas Cage.
Nicholas
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
But there are dimes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now's the time where if you have anything you want to promote, like any podcasts or social media you want to plug, this is where you do it. Chip, I'll start with you. Do you have anything?
No, I don't. You can find me on Facebook at Chip, ChipJones. Also, my IG is the same, and then Twitter's ChipJ.
Cool. Matt, do you have anything?
Not really. I'm on Instagram at Batmandura. So that's BATTMANDURA. So at Batmandura on Instagram. And you can see some nice pictures.
Awesome. Clyde?
You can just follow me on Instagram at The Real Clyde Williams. That's it.
Sweet. Last but not least, Winston?
You can follow me on Facebook. Just look up Winston Hodges. Instagram and Twitter at Winston H Comedy. I got a bunch of podcasts and stuff that you can find at winstonhodges.com. And I've got a self-released special about grief after the loss of my father that'll be out October 16th. So check that out.
Awesome. Will do. All right, this concludes another episode of The Workshop. See y'all next time.